Today I'm going to talk to you about combat-related special compensation and what this benefit means to you. First, I will describe what the definition of combat-related special compensation is, how it differs from service-related and combat-related injuries, and what are the eligibility requirements. And also, something even more important, how you can recreate missing records or records that you don't have in your possession. So what is combat-related special compensation? Combat-related special compensation is a full concurrent receipt program. Full concurrent receipt meaning dual compensation if it's combat-related. The key to this program is that you receive a VA waiver, an active VA waiver, and VA pay, and your retirement pay. Then in addition, you will receive combat-related special compensation. The difference between this program and a program often confused with full concurrent receipt is concurrent retirement and disability payments. This program is strictly service-related injuries. The combat special related program are for combat-related, and I emphasize related injuries. For example, a service-related injury is like an individual who hurt themselves during a battalion run. Combat-related could be any of the following types of situations, either in simulated training by an instrument of war, in hazardous service, or in direct combat. Some examples of combat-related special compensation versus the full concurrent receipt. If you're to compare these two programs, the best thing that I could describe in helping you to make the decision to choose CRSC over CRDP is, are you receiving full concurrent receipt? With CRSC, you do indeed receive full concurrent receipt if it's combat related. For the Concurrent Retirement and Disability Payment Program, this program starts at 50% VA rating. So those individuals who have a 10% to 40% VA rating are not eligible to apply for concurrent receipt. However, those individuals in CRDP who have 100% VA-rated injuries do receive full concurrent receipt. Once again, the difference in their program and our program starts at 10% VA rating. Their program starts at 50% VA rating. Our program, however, is tax-free. Our Congress, our nation, has recognized your sacrifice, and as such has provided the first onshore tax-free shelter for these veterans that have given so much to our country. CRDP does not have this. CRDP is fully taxable. Mind you, CRDP is a very good program, and it's applicable, once again, to all of those individuals who have been hurt while in service, strictly service-related injuries. I could best typify this as being the military form of industrial workers' compensation. Our program emphasizes for those individuals who have been hurt, as I say again, and sacrificed more than the average soldier for our country. Our program also provides individual unemployment. CRDP does not. What that means is if you have a 60% rating and a rating that is awarded to you from VA as individually unemployed, your individually unemployed award plus the 60% will give you 100% CRSC award. Whereas with CRDP, they have no such thing. They are working in Congress to rectify that, but currently we are the only full concurrent receipt program that awards IU, individual unemployment. Unfortunately, neither program has the survivor benefit portion. In other words, this benefit is strictly for the service member, not for the family member. You would have to buy into it much as you would with your pay. You can't do this with this program, either form of concurrent receipt, simply because this benefit replaces that pay. The only other thing with this program is you must apply. You must fill out a claim form, which you can download from our website. You can call our toll-free number and download this. And I might also add, this program is for all services. So everything that I say here today applies to every service: Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Coast Guard, any uniformed service, military service. Lastly, I just have to emphasize the difference in these programs. CRDP, once again, is for service-related injuries, and CRSC is for combat-related injuries. Let me give you an example of the kind of monies or remuneration that you will be receiving from CRSC, or had you not applied to our CRSC program. For instance, if you have, or you're just receiving VA, and you're just receiving your regular retirement pay, let's say $3,000, and you have, let's say again, a 70% VA rating, that would represent, let's say, somewhere around the neighborhood of $1,000. What VA does, or rather DFAS does, is takes that $1,000 out of your base pay, your retired pay. That leaves you with $2,000 of retired pay and $1,000 of VA pay. The $1,000 is tax-free. However, you're still left with the same $3,000 that you started out with. And you say, hey, what's the difference here? Why aren't I getting actual remuneration? Well, this is where Congress has come about and provided these two programs, full concurrent receipt. And our program provides what we think is the better concurrent receipt, dual pay program if it's combat related. Here's an example with CRSC. If you win the CRSC award, that same $3,000, VA will subtract out for that 70% VA injury $1,000. That leaves you with $2,000. That pay actually goes back in to get that same $3,000 of your retired pay. Then CRSC determines that the entire 70% is combat related. They add that $1,000 onto the $3,000, making your pay now $4,000, $2,000 of which is tax-free. To be eligible for combat-related special compensation, you must have 20 years, either active or reserve. For a reservist, this means age 60. For both, this means that you must be drawing your retired pay. For an individual, let's say, who is medically retired, those individuals such as medically retired Chapter 61, you must still have that 20 years. However, you must have an active VA waiver. Simply put, that means you have elected the percentage of your VA pay to be taken from your retired pay. Most often that means if you have a 70%, you elect to draw all 70% as it's a tax-free election. But bottom line is, you're taking your retired pay to pay your VA pay. That is the requirement. Once again, your retired years, number of years, your VA waiver, and currently drawing retired pay. Let's say, for instance, you have a 20% VA waiver, 100% of your retired pay. That would mean VA is taking 20% of your retired pay away. They're giving you that 20% tax-free, but it's still your pay. All you have left of retired taxable pay is 80%. So our program has enhanced that. The key to our program, once again, though, is to have a VA rating. And the beauty, literally the beauty of our program is it starts at 10%. That is the only qualification from VA, 10% and combat related. Now I'm going to provide you more eligibility criteria. There are 4 types of criteria that you should be interested in. You'll notice that I don't have a combat patch. Well, many veterans do. But for those of you veterans who don't have a direct combat exposure injury or illness, there's still hope. There's simulating war. In other words, if somewhere in your 20 or 30 years of career service, you were in an FTX or some type of exercise of any type, and you were going against opposing forces and jumped across a culvert as the OPFOR were coming towards your position and broke your ankle, that would be considered a training injury while simulating war. Likewise, live fire exercises, assault courses, bayonet courses, live grenade training, hand-to-hand combat, airborne and assault operations, ranger courses, however, not just being at the ranger course itself. You actually have to be in some type of a training scenario, such as rappelling. Now, in hazardous service is the next criteria. You have those types of combat-related hazardous service, such as flight duty, demolition duty, parachute duty, and diving duty. For instance, you have an individual who may say, but I'm an infantryman or infantry person. And they say, well, isn't that hazardous duty? No, actually your MOS is considered your routine duty. So if it's simply your job related to what you do normally, then no. However, if as an infantry person, you perform airborne operations or you perform such as special forces demolition duty or diving duty in connection with that, that would be combat related. But those things that are related to your job are service related. Now, in instrumentality war, this is one that can often cause a little confusion. As far as what is an instrument and what is not. What is not, let's say, for instance, vehicles. A sedan, an automobile typically that is used in a civilian arena, is not combat related. A military sedan, in other words, a military sedan in a civilian vehicle accident is service related. However, a military vehicle in a routine accident, but the military vehicle is uniquely military, such as a Humvee, a Deuce and Half, or any of the different types of military vehicles that we have these days. Anything that's uniquely military are considered a combat platform, whether you're carrying equipment or actual combat paraphernalia. Also, vehicles of war are considered tanks, armored vehicles. Other types of combat-related instruments of war would be ammunition, explosive devices, the lifting of artillery rounds, rappelling from military aircraft, hitting your head on the side of an aircraft as you're exiting military aircraft doing airborne training. Other things that are more service-related would be repairing a military vehicle in a maintenance setting. The same can be said for individuals who are in, let's say, a theater of operations, a combat theater of operations, let's say Vietnam. And because you're in the theater of operations and had an injury, but it wasn't combat related, well, that's service related once again. It's not the theater of operations. It's what you were doing at the time, how you got the injury that makes it combat related. And last, direct combat, such as gunshot wound, shell fragment wound, aircraft shot down, terrorist bomb, post-traumatic stress disorder, POW. However, those things that are service-related injuries, once again, I emphasize, those such things that are in a combat zone that are routine maintenance and you hurt yourself with a wrench, that would not be considered combat-related. Sporting events, recreational activities in a hostile area, that's not combat-related. Diseases by nature that are not considered presumptive by the Veteran Affairs, such as stress-related heart disease or high blood pressure, unless a doctor indicates otherwise, unless it were perhaps connected to a presumptive disease. And presumptive diseases, these are things such as Agent Orange from Vietnam, undiagnosed illnesses from the Gulf War syndrome, radiation exposure or mustard gas or lewisite exposure. And here we're talking about primarily individuals who are ammunition handlers. Lastly, presumptive diseases that might occur as a prisoner of war, beriberi. Now those are injuries of nature. Did you know that the #1 reason our CRSC claims are not approved? It's simply because the documentation you provided, we were unable to verify the injury or illness being combat related. In other words, bottom line, if you take nothing away from this presentation but one word, that word would be how. Take that home. How? How did you get that injury? And document it either medically or in an awards write-up or in a line of duty investigation or in a physical There are numerous other types of things that you can use to document how you got that injury. Did you also know that we don't have access to your medical records, your personal records? You need to send those to us. You need to get copies of those. But the good news is we'll provide you with that information, how to contact them. Whereas you can't provide us personal statements, you can't provide us buddy statements. You can, I'll show you in just a few minutes, how you can use those to recreate lost medical records. The key again is to remember, did I supply documents that provide the CRSC division how I got that injury? First thing that you do to verify your claim, after receiving your claim form paperwork, which you can either download from our website, or you can get it from your local retirement services office, or you can receive a copy by phoning our office directly, toll-free, which I'll give you the number at the end. First, go through all of your VA rating decisions. That's the document that either shows the VA rating classification number or it shows your rating decision description. That is the most important. The document that shows your VA rating description, it goes through each injury classification, saying left shoulder wound, right knee, whatever, and then goes on to describe in a paragraph what the injury was, what the injury is, and how it's still being treated. Ideally, the VA rating decision will tell us how you got the injury too. If after you go through your VA rating decision and it doesn't explain how you got the injury, then you need to go through your personnel and military records and do the same thing. Go through anything, an Army physical, a physical upon retirement, any document that you could have gotten, a clinic statement, going to a local clinic from, say you're on a hazardous duty such as paratrooper and you had a bad parachute landing fall. We need simply the document that states how you got that injury. We never deny the fact that you have an injury, especially when it says this injury is directly related to military service, but it doesn't tell us how you got that injury. Now, evidence to verify your claim will consist of primarily your VA rating decision, and you'll see an example of that in our slides here. The VA rating decision is a primary document and often is all that you will need to apply on our claim form, and that's true with all services. In addition, another critical document would be your DD-214 and DD-215. The DD-215, of course, is the correction of your DD-214, and both your DD-214 and 215 may be gotten by contacting the National Personnel Records Center, and we have a toll-free number for that as well, and they also have a website and email in which you can request a copy be sent you electronically. Now, what do you do if you're missing records? How do you get records? Either your personnel records to document where you were assigned when the injury occurred, to what was the medical injury. Well, we can help you both with hospital documents, with combat-related documents. In the hospital documents, we have a location you can go to down in Texas, and it will provide you information on hospital stays from January 1971 and forward. For combat documents, they can also provide things such as morning reports. Also, we have an address, location, website, phone number that you can go to for your personnel documents from the National Personnel Records Center and from National Archive Records Center, NARA. In addition, if you have any presumptive diseases, either from the Gulf War or from Vietnam, Agent Orange, or other related type injuries, we have two sites, the Agent Orange Registry and the Gulf War Registry, that you can use from our materials that we're providing you here. Now, to recreate missing records, by law, the VA is able to accept documents that are not allowed under CRSC law. In addition, military treatment facilities also can receive such documents. And what does this include? This includes 3 or 4 such documents. What do we need? We need, not us, what does the VA need? What does the military treatment facility need? And who are we talking about? We're talking about a medical officer, a doctor, or a nurse, a physician's assistant, anyone who has authority to sign. And they can put this documentation that I'm about to give you on a consultation form or a letter with their letterhead and signature. Either one, that's fine. Majority of our veterans who have gone back into our program for reconsideration after being denied have gone this route. So what do you need? Number one, you need proof of your medical injury. So you need to provide the provider, the medical provider, your medical documentation or diagnosis. And ideally, this would work best if you had a history with the provider, that is the VA hospital or the doctor or physician assistant or nurse at the military treatment facility. Secondly, you'd need proof of your assignment, such as you were in Vietnam or Korea, and you had orders assigning you to that specific outfit and location. That would further provide the criteria that they need to validate your claim, where, when, why this injury happened, and how. Lastly, they need your written statement, your claim, stating how your injury occurred. Now, this is what they should in turn take and extract in 1 or 2 sentences and provide on the consultation form or on their letterhead signed that states this is how this one of 10 possible injuries which you are filing your claim for combat-related special compensation happened. That's what we need, as simple as that. Lastly, again, if you get a buddy statement, that even goes that much further to prove your case. Well, once again, this must go through the VA hospital or the military treatment facility, not through the combat-related special compensation division of any of the services. We cannot make that military decision of having that injury. How did it occur? The medical community must make that legal decision for you. There are some other agencies that can assist you in addition to those organizations which we've provided you addresses, websites, and email. We also have additional facilities, different agencies that we find critical in helping you, in fact, putting together your claim and packet. That would be your county VA, which you can see on our slides now that we're showing you. They provide access and help for those veterans in and above the federal VA. In addition, the VFW, the Veteran of Foreign Wars, will do the same thing. Of the American Legion, the Disabled Veterans, the Military Order of Purple Heart, and your local retirement service office located on each military installation for all services. How do you get hold of these if you don't have a computer? Well, you can call Information 411 and simply ask for your local contact for one of these veteran service organizations or the Retirement Services Office. Or, as I said, visit the websites to contact one of these local areas. Now, the information I'm going to provide you is good for contacting the Army service. And I might add, if you are from another service and you don't know how to get hold of your respective retired branch, such as Air Force, Navy, Marines, Coast Guard, you can call our branch and we'll provide you the phone number and the address, so you may apply from them. You can download, if you like, the claim form. It's the same for all services. Use our claim form and apply to those particular address and branches of service. Let everyone know about this program on behalf of all services. Our website is www.crsc.army.mil. That's crsc.army.mil. So today we provided you what we hope to be as a good overview of the combat-related special compensation program, and we hope that you will spread this word. First, apply yourself. Fill out your claim form, download it, or request a copy of the claim form itself. Fill it out. If you have any questions, call our operators Monday through Friday and ask them, how do you fill out Block 13? What do I do if I have more than one slide? We also have a claim presentation that I also put on that you can download from our website. And you might explore that at our website for more information. Today, I thank you for joining us, and I hope you will apply to our CRC program really soon. Thank you.